Good afternoon to all you faithful viewers of the Voice of Reason show. I'm your presenter, Angelique. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, viewers who tune in every Saturday from 3 p.m. on the Facebook Live page of The Boss Brother, on your home, back at home, on the channel 121 on SepelaTV. Today on the Voice of Reason, we have the grace to receive a young man. Yes, I say a young man. He was nominated in 2013 in the Congolese Achievement Award, the Best Director / Producer. He goes by the name Mr. Mania. Before we turn the camera to him, let's just have a video of Mr. Mania Tambwwe.
There is an in-between where you are now and to where you're going. You know, people may laugh at you. People may look down at you. Turn around and tell them there's an in-between in my life. My right now is not my tomorrow. Oh, you didn't hear me. My right now is not my tomorrow. My today is bad. But my tomorrow. That's what the Bible says. What?
Voilà pourquoi la Bible dit quoi?
Cry may be in the night. Oh, you didn't hear
que la souffrance
Don't you know your scripture? I'm talking to you. Trouble may be in the night.
Le trouble peut venir pendant
But
la nuit.
I know that there is joy
Mais je
coming.
sais qu'il y a la
Oh
joie
my
qui
goodness.
vient.
You didn't hear me.
Tu n'as pas compris.
Trouble may be in the night.
Le trouble peut venir pendant la
Poverty
nuit.
may be in the night.
La pauvreté peut venir
Stress
pendant la
may be
nuit.
in the night.
Le stress
Sickness
pendant la
may
nuit.
be in the night.
La maladie
But
pendant
I
la
know
nuit.
my Redeemer
Mais
will
je
bring
sais
me
que
joy.
mon Rédempteur
You
va
didn't
m'amener
hear
la
me.
joie. Tu n'as
My
pas compris.
Redeemer lives.
Mon Rédempteur vit.
Oh, hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
Fantastic.
Looking good.
Nazolia
Well, in English, he says he's eating well.
Yeah, I mean,
So today, before we even start the show, let's just say the Swahili are on the platform today.
Yes,
So high five for that.
Asante.
Swahili tea.
Asante
Unfortunately, I can't even speak Swahili.
come on.
My dad is the only person that speaks it, and whenever he speaks, I'm just like, what are you saying? But thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
We've seen your work, we've seen you do many activities, but we thought it's time for us to bring you in to really see and know who is Mr. Mania. So before we start the show, we would like to ask if you could tell us a bit about your background.
Yeah. Basically, my name is Mania Tambwwe. I was born in Congo myself, and then I was raised in UK. So on that note, I was actually born in the south of Kivu, which is now is in the province of Shabunda. Some of you might not even know that area, but it's closer to Maniema and near Kindu area. So I was born in that side, and my father came over to the UK. I believe it was in 1994. So and then he flew us over here, which was a great opportunity because in 1994, that's when I think a bit of war started breaking out in the Congo, and everybody started leaving, coming over to find safety, really. And it's been amazing to be in the UK, brought up, and then all of a sudden I went to university, not just university, to school, to college, and then I studied filmmaking and creative art. And then after that, I went in to study theology. And that's why I have mixed of different things in my life.
So you got a lot. You could hear from the back the history from the beginning until now. You've been through a lot. So through all them section of your life, there's always a story to tell.
That's right.
But before that, can you just give us a little bit of information of what you do within the community?
That's great. That's great. In the community, really, at the moment, I'm mainly focusing on ministry. I have something called Mokomisi, which has got to do with worshiping. I love worship. Worship is a personal thing to me. So I took that personal thing and just made it like a hobby. I'm not aiming to get nothing out of it. It's mainly a hobby where we can just worship, really, nothing much. And then also I'm also in ministry. Like I said, I'm preaching the gospel. I'm actually at a church called Glad Tidings, which is it's not mainly just a French-speaking church, but it's multicultural. We have different people there, Jamaicans, Nigerians, different people, which is amazing to have because we live in a multicultural country.
Yes.
Yes, that's one of the things. And at the same time, I'm a film producer and director, which has been for the past 15 years I've been doing that. That's like my professional side of thing, which is amazing. I've been doing that for 15 years, like I said, and I've enjoyed it.
That's a very long time. So you've already like got the knowledge of it wrapped around your fingers. So between all these activities, which one did you start first?
I could say I started with the film directing and producing. I started off as an editor, a video editor, and from college. Right from college, I was editing. Basically, even before that, I started off with music technology, actually, in college, which was funny enough. We used to make beats. You know, those days, everyone wants to be a producer.
Everyone wants to be a producer.
Everyone wants to make beats, which was quite interesting. And after that, everyone was doing beats, and everyone was making beats. And I thought, okay, what happens after we make the beats? And then I think my teacher at that time introduced me to music videos. And I was like, this is quite interesting. Let me see how it goes. And from there on, I just loved editing. And then I left music technology and I went into creative art.
So that would mean that before even you got into the media industry, you had a different passion. So what dream did you have?
Originally, you know, our Congolese parents or our parents or African parents, they normally have they
footballer.
But it's funny how my father never really told me to be anybody, but he always liked planes. So I always I wanted to be a pilot.
What?
Yeah, I wanted to be a pilot.
Being serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious, being a pilot. And I tried and I looked into it, and you have to have a lot of maths. You have to be good at maths, and me, I'm terrible at maths. So as soon as I saw maths, I said, nah, I'm not involved. I left it, and then I pursued music technology. Reason why is because I was in church and I used to play music. I used to play keyboard. You know how I pastor's kids and all of that. They mainly pull you straight. You get yourself and start playing keyboard, play drums, and then I thought, let me just do something with something that I love, which was music at that time. And then I end up pursuing music technology, and then from music technology I moved into creative art, which was media.
But why didn't you choose? Because you mentioned that you're a son of a pastor. You know, as many people that know children are pastors, you know, the whole church will think you're next in line to lead the church. Wasn't your passion into the ministry instead of into the media?
It's never. I don't think that pastors' children should be boxed down to be pastors or pastors' kids to do pastoral work. It's actually the opposite. Most of the time, pastors' kids, they try to run away from all of that because they see it every day, and because they get to see the other side of the pastor, the struggle of the pastor, so they don't really understand it as much. But at the same time, at home, he's beating me. At the same time, he's slapping my mom. At the same time, so they see the negative. The negativity of a pastor, which kind of pushed them off because they think the pastor is an hypocrite. But rather, it's a thing where when you grow up, you get to learn that we're all human beings and we all have issues that we're dealing with, including the pastors that are on the pulpit.
That's very good that you mentioned that. You're the first person that mentioned that some tried to run away, because there's so many of us that have heard others that just want to follow the dream, follow the lead of their parents. So in your family, are there anyone that is in the media, that started media before even you were born or during your young age?
No one.
So how doesn't it feel awkward to be the only one in your family member to media?
Not really. I think it makes you stand out. It makes you stand out. So it made me stand out. I think because I started doing that in college, and then I went in to do it for the church.
Yes.
So I started doing it for the church, and it was through a brother that was in the church already that was already doing it. I love very much his brother Richard Cunningham, and he actually used to film and then edit it at his house. So I thought, okay, because at that time I had no money to buy equipment. At that time, equipment were expensive, even a small camera were expensive. So I took that opportunity and then really just followed what he was doing and developed myself at his house. We used to use silly cameras, silly mixers to mix weddings or to mix funerals or church sermons. And from there on, I was really passionate. And then it was also about, you know, when I think at that time Makoma was out. So I loved the way they used to do the music videos.
Kind of funky hair.
So I was actually interested in seeing how can they do this. So that I would take their music videos, I'll film my little sisters, and then they mix it and create our own music videos. So from there on, I just developed it. And then,
so it was like you had a taste of a meal, and then you went back home and you started to try and create the meal by yourself and become like, let's say people nowadays a chef. But didn't your father or mother have a comment on that?
My dad liked it because my dad is a very interesting person. Anything that can help like move wherever the ministry forward, it will support you in it. Either even if you want to be anything you want to be, it will support you on it. But as long as you can also think about ministry, you know, our parents sometimes, especially pastors in our community or any other community, the problem they have is they have a kid who wants to do something, but they're more adamant on them being at church. Especially with people that want to play football. You have a lot of young men that want to play football, but because most of the football is on Sunday, they won't allow them, and then it will cause such a friction when the child grows up. They will say, "Oh, look what you've done! You've ruined my life." Really, because football is everything is about season in life. So if you miss certain season, a certain time in your life, really you can never get it back. You have plenty of them in church that will be complaining to their father. In fact, even until now, they still have that grudge, and then they say, "Dad, you messed me up."
But you talking like this, that means you have witnessed a lot of young people as well. And we're going to talk that further along the show. So tell us a bit of you growing up. Did you have no, you know, every person have a story. Did you have no struggle? Did you, like, what were your struggles, for example?
When I was before I came to UK, I was actually in Uganda. I think I was about 7 or 8. Yeah, I was about 7 or 8, and I was in Uganda for I think a year and a half. And that was a struggle, a very hard moment for me, because at that time that's when, I think it was in 1996. That's when my mother died. Now,
sorry.
Yes, all right. What happened was, we flew over to Uganda together. I believe. And then my mother flew over to Belgium. So she didn't come directly to UK. She was sick by the time she flew over. So they had to obviously admit her in Belgium. And when they admitted her, she passed away in Belgium, which was a really hard moment for me. Where
losing a mother
first of all, your father's already in the UK. You find yourself in a land where there's no one that you really know. So and then you have younger sisters and younger brothers. So it was really hard. You don't know mixed emotions, and somehow at that age you don't really know what is going on. You kind of like put it on the backside. I think at that time we just put it in our mind. It was like, oh, that's sad, mom is gone, blah blah blah. But as you grow old, then those emotions comes and you begin to think, oh really, mother's really gone. So I think I wouldn't call it a hard moment, but it was a great journey. It was a journey. Everybody has a journey. That makes you better.
It's good the way that you turned your pain, I would say, something that was a sorrow to you. And you're talking, while talking normally, like me myself, I'll be looking all sad and emotional, like my eyes are very watery. But you're smiling for it. So that means you took time to really, you know, how can I say, manage and control your emotion and control yourself. How did you manage to do that?
I think you give everything time. Like I said, when I was young, I didn't really understand. Until I grew old, that's when he came on to me, he hit me and said, oh, okay. You know, most of the time, a lot of people, when they lose people, they don't really, it doesn't sink in straight away. And some of us can just keep pushing it until you get to a time when you crack, and then you just have to let it go. You see, there's a lot of people, even in our community, in the world, that they have people that they've lost, but they've never really had time to mourn. If you don't mourn for someone, that means you've never really let them go. See, that's what I did is that I allow myself to mourn throughout my process in life, and using that to say, you know what, I can do better. You see, those who don't have, like, there's a lot of young people in my country that don't have mothers or fathers, but yet they don't have to mourn, but they strive on, they keep on pushing. And I think as young person or in our community, we need to think like that. There's a lot of young people that don't have what we have today, education especially, opportunities that they don't have, but yet you can find them in the streets who's trying to sell something. You see, life is about what you have in the moment, and then it's how you deal with it.
I love the word. You can see the word of wisdom coming out. It's like a melody coming out. So I really like that. That's really encouraging and inspiring for us to really see you can take something that was a pain, a sorrow, and make it now sound like a testimony, but
right.
a testimony of victory.
Victory, that's right.
That's why we appreciate that.
Yeah.
So would you say that that's what draws you, that is like the source of your passion?
I wouldn't say that. The source of my passion is probably mainly, I'll say it is God. Reason why is before that you haven't found faith, then you don't know the power of faith.
Yes.
But and if you can also look at people that don't even have God, they still have that. I think the source of my passion is purpose. And when you don't know your purpose, you won't really pursue as much. You got a lot of people that have purpose, but they don't know how to push it and take it to the next level. So once you've discovered your purpose, then you're absolutely, you can
go ahead,
go
over
ahead.
the moon.
That's right. That's right.
That's very good. Another thing within the, before you even go into the next, what would you say is your biggest achievement?
My biggest achievement is probably getting married and settling down.
Yes, we all watched the video.
Yeah, because what people tend to think marriage is sweet and honey, and and having children is sweet and honey, but they don't know the difficulty behind it. And it's a sad thing that we don't appreciate that. We kind of don't treat it as much as we can, because the biggest responsibility that you must have as a man, first of all, is to be the head. And then if you are the head, then you must prioritize whatever responsibility that they've given to you. And for me to have a family and taking responsibility for it and make sure that they are fine.
Yes.
Like a lion protects his cubs and his wife, and you understand. So it's for a man as well, as a duty, as our generation especially, we need to turn that around for where we used to mistreat our women. Rather, we should appreciate them and show them that yes, the generation before might have messed up, but we have an opportunity to be better parents and better fathers and better husbands.
Truly.
So for me, the greatest achievement is, of course, first of all, is to be a father and to be a husband. And then and it's all about grace, having the grace to be able to be better.
Yes.
So that's my biggest achievement. So
I like that. You always, wrap your own life with advice alongside with God with it. Right. So this is really good.
That's right.
One thing I find it curious, we've never heard anything bad about you. Not you into, argument, into fight, or into, like in our community, especially in Congolese community, into, we say in Lingala, bilinga, liking other people. How do you keep your life so private?
It's very key. I think you have to have been brought up in that kind of thinking of being different, first of all. And you can only stand out when you don't mix too much.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're always mixing too much, and then people tend to see your worst. But what you need to do is mix yourself with the people that see your worst, and they won't talk about you behind your back, and then curse you, and then take it into a place where everybody else. They say. So what you need to do is, for me, it was lucky because even from school I used to be very laid back. So it's my nature. So it's not really like I don't have to force it and think about it. It's automatically in my nature, and somehow God gives people different kind of grace.
Yes.
And for you to be a leader and to grow in life, you first of all have to have a way to protect yourself and a way to make sure that you don't mess up, because only your history or your past can mess up your future.
Yes.
So if you have a bad CV, nobody's gonna hire you.
Yes.
So, but if you have a good CV, people can trust you with things. They can say, okay, we never heard Mania steal, we never heard Mania curse, we never heard Mania do this.
None
so
of that.
I can trust him with this. You understand? So it's very important what we do while we're young, and as we grow up, it's very important to make sure you.
But at a young age, to have that kind of mentality, there must have been someone behind you to, mentor you and guide you to become who you are today.
Yeah, I would probably say my dad at first. My dad has been a great mentor, but I think it's grace.
Yes.
Because many of us, we get mentors, we get pastors, we're pastors' kids, we have mothers that's good, a family that's good, but yet a child turns around and be crazy because everybody else outside is messing up with their brain. But I've had friends that are crazy, I have had friends that are not good, but it's a thing where I knew my limits. And there are things that I'm like, I'm not involved, I'm out of here, you understand?
Yeah.
I'm going home. I'd rather just go home, watch my movie or watch Power Rangers.
You're a weird kid.
Yeah, you understand? Yeah, I was very weird, and even my siblings think I'm weird. But that's because I tend to make sure that this is not the kind of person I am. I don't like to force things. I like to feel free. I would rather stay at home and just read or do other things than just go out there and be wild with everyone.
Are you the only person in the family who's
I think I'm
characteristics
probably,
like that?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Wow.
Probably, yeah.
Because you see so many people, they might be in a situation and they want somebody to be there and they will like to talk, you know, have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
But I think you just kept yourself with one person, one mentor and one guidance.
That's right.
And I think also the thing that supported you was, could say prayer?
Yeah, prayer is key. But I would say, like I said, is grace. Everybody else is brought up in the different places. Like, grace is so interesting where the things that you think is by your own strength, but it's not. So I can say prayer. I was not taught to pray. I was not taught how to.
Even though your father's a pastor.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, my father would pray and invite us to pray.
Yeah.
But prayer is a thing where it's a personal thing. Yeah. Now my father's not around, but do I still pray? When your father is sleeping, do you still pray by yourself? So prayer is a personal thing. And a lot of people, not everybody has the grace and the strength to pray.
Yes.
Because some people can pray a lot, some people can pray less. So only God gives people the strength to do more, and which I have the grace to do that. Yeah.
See, you've mentioned grace.
Yeah.
There's other people that are watching us now, and they don't know the definition of grace. What is grace?
Grace is like favor. Favor, something that you don't deserve, but you get it. Something that you wasn't meant to have, but at the same time you have that opportunity to have. And if you go back to Jesus, for example, when we speak about God Himself, we didn't have Christ didn't have to die for us, but He came freely, so we may have the opportunity to live and to speak and to have what we have today. So that's what grace, to have something that wasn't worth it, something that you didn't deserve at all.
Thank you for that. For those that didn't know grace, now you know the definition of grace, and also read the Bible.
That's right.
In 2015, you directed a movie called Kindoki.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I was saying that I'm a person where I like to make movies that can relate to people's daily lives. I like to make movies that can make you think, can make you feel in a certain way. I don't just like to make a movie for fun of it. Let's make a movie, which I'm doing at the moment. But yeah. So making that movie was such a important to me, because I was at a place of my life where thinking of which direction to take, and I always say, like, if you don't know your purpose, you'll be lost, like I said. And the best thing that you can ever have as a person of purpose is instinct.
Yes. And
I took my instinct of making that movie, and it was quite interesting because a lot of people got involved and supported it. I had my sister called Hillary, Jennifer. I called her up and said, Jennifer, you wanna come through and let's do this movie? And she came through and she produced it, and she worked really hard to get it done. So it was a thing where I just, like I always say, grace. It was a thing where people always come together when you have a vision, when you have a plan. And that's what happened to Kindoki. And because the story also shook me, because when I read about it, you can think about it, in 2015, and the thing happened in 2010.
Yes.
Nobody done anything about it.
It was just
especially in our community.
Yeah.
Just newspaper that you see on BBC, and they say it's sad. And not even that, there's quite a few people that did something about it, let me say, in our community.
Yeah.
They did, I think some Congolese community did come together, Papa Ngoma, the other ones, they came together and they sat down and they did something about it for young people. But it wasn't really brought out as a community in bringing everyone together to watch something that was horrific. And you see, when people speak about the thing Kindoki, which means witchcraft, as Africans, we get scared and nobody wants to be involved in it. Yes. They get scared and they move away, which doesn't make any sense, because it is there, but you're trying to hide from it. Yeah. And I think I've seen that in a lot of us Congolese people. We tend to run away from problems, yes, rather than solving problems. The reason why Congo is in states now is because most of us run away from it rather than going back and solving it. And you can never solve anything when you keep running from it.
So you saw the story and you thought, let me bring this into, even though people have read it, but they did not witness it, let me bring it into display. Mm-hmm. And I would presume you were the first person, the first Congolese person to create a movie like this?
Yeah, like this. Yeah, probably to do with Kindoki. Yeah.
Yes.
But most of the time, people do theater like scary stuff, but
Yes.
not a personal, like something that real.
Because
like
it was different than what we watch.
Yeah.
We call it theatre. It's like our Congolese Nollywood.
Yeah.
For those that those are not Congolese.
That's
It's
right.
like a Congolese Nollywood show.
That's right.
But you could have chosen not to do it. But
That's right.
what drove you to do it? There had to be a key, something that made you just want to grab this and let me bring it to life.
Yeah, I felt like it's ours. I feel like we have to tell our own stories. Like you mentioned, Nollywood. The problem is we don't tell our own stories enough.
No.
The reason why we're reading the Bible, because there was a Jewish person who's called Moses who wrote the Old Testament. And the reason why we read New Testament, because people wrote in the Hebrews, and we have the apostles who wrote it.
Yes.
The reason why the story is disappearing is because nobody wrote anything. I always ask people this question: if God was speaking to Abraham in Israel, or he was speaking to Abraham in Iraq at that moment, are you telling me God is not powerful enough to speak to somebody in the Congo? You see, God could have spoke to someone in the Congo, but he did not write it down. And that's why we don't have stories. We don't have nothing to pass on.
There's like a little missing puzzle that we have to put together.
And plus, we'd never know, because Congo has gone through so much. You never know whether somebody wrote something which they've taken away, and now we can't see it. There's few people that have written books, and we don't see our history. And that's why it's important. We need to start telling our history. And we go through a lot. Even our own history now, what's happening now, is history. We need to write it. As we see it, God, write it down, because eventually it could be your child, my child, anybody's child out there that will eventually tell our story and say, this is what Congo went through. Yeah.
For them to have the truth.
That's right.
It's all about the
That's
truth.
right.
So after doing the movie, how many people were there to support to produce this movie?
It was quite a few people. I can't remember top of my head, but doing that movie, I think there was about 20 people, top of my head, that was helping out. Because it's not just about the people on screen, but the people off screen as well.
Yes.
But about 20 people that I can think. But the premiere itself, there's a lot of people that were involved, and distributing it into. We had to do a premiere in Congo. I wasn't really much involved in that. That was mainly the producer, Hilary, who done most of that. I didn't really involve myself much in it. She went out there and did that. But there was a lot of people involved, but not too many, because it was a short film. But yeah, quite a few people involved.
But how were you guys able to get, because the newspaper only gave us sufficient enough, not sufficient, but a short amount of detail of what went on. But how were you guys able to get the missing pieces to make it become a movie that we see now?
Personally, for me, I had to do my own research before, because I had to write the movie, the script. So I had to do my own research, and it took me a couple of months to make that research. So I just sat down and read and watched a lot of documentaries, and then eventually at the end, when we were actually finishing making the movie, the Metropolitan Police heard about the story that we were doing, the movie called Kindoki, which got to do with a young boy and a young girl, blah, blah. So they got involved, and they contacted us, and they want us to sit down and see how they can get involved.
Can help as well.
Yeah, so a few people got involved, which was quite cool, and yeah, we finally got it done. Yeah.
So what were the comments or review that you got back of that movie?
I got really good feedbacks, because it's, like you said, it's something new, something different. People don't see it, so a lot of people was like, "Oh wow, that's really good. Like, we need more of this." I didn't really get a lot of negative. I can't think of one, but probably maybe because the story wasn't as accurate.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was a true event, it's not like a basically true story that we're telling, because it wasn't there.
Yes.
We didn't know the conversation they had. So what we tried to create
your own imagination.
Imagination, that a scenario that we think happened based on what we read, or based on what we were told, the information we were given. So that's the only negative thing.
But apart from the Kindoki movie, what other movies have you produced?
I've directed Gascoigne, which is out there. At the moment, I'm also planning to shoot a new movie, which you guys are gonna love very much, because it's amazing. I can't wait for you guys to
tell us the name a little bit.
Okay, it's called Libala Weekend. So basically, it's a story about a wedding. It's a romantic comedy film, and hopefully it will be out soon. Hopefully by next year. and I'm working with an amazing cast and amazing people and amazing producers. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to it because we've never had a romantic comedy movie except for La Vie est Belle.
Yeah, La Vie est Belle, and that's a very long time ever since.
So basically, just the story is about a weekend where we get married, we do a dot on Thursday, and then we do the wedding on Saturday. Then you know the crazy stuff that happened between those hours or those days. So that's what the movie is about.
But, so for how many movies have you done?
Have you I would say personally for me, I've done 3 that I've been involved in. But mainly I've been around a lot of broadcasting stuff, like TV.
How do you manage all these? It's like the 1 minute, because the 1 minute we see you preaching, the next minute we see you mukumisi, the next minute we see you directing.
Yeah.
How do you manage this? So
because I do things in seasons. As you can tell that now I'm mainly focusing on preaching. Yeah. Yeah, and then I'm going into movie. It's the thing where before that I've had enough time to train myself. And I spent so much time. I've done Gascon in 2009. 2009, that was Gascon. That was my first movie. And then in 2015, that's a lot of years, like 4 years, 5 years different, or 6 years different. Yeah. So I always spend time in certain things. Like in a certain season, I do a lot of things, and then the next season
you do another one.
Like right now, I've done Mukumisi. I would rather let somebody else do that and continue with it. Then I will focus on ministry and focus on the movies. That's it. So.
Wow. So speaking on the term of Mukumisi, let's have a look of how Mukumisi began.
Winners don't start with victories, they start with preparation. Anybody that is a winner, they will tell you that I prepared myself. We know Anthony Joshua. Even now, if you follow him in his Instagram or his Snapchat, the guy is busy preparing himself for the next match. For the next fight, may I say. We know footballers. The season hasn't started, but they're busy doing trials and they're playing different matches to prepare themselves for the season to kick off. And something I looked when we read the scripture of a woman with an issue of blood, it's quite interesting that the woman had to have faith before she was healed. So she prepared herself.
Thank you. Welcome back to our viewers to The Voice of Reason. And today on our show we have Mr. Mania Tambwwe. A big apology to you, the viewers, because we had a little technical problem, a mixture of the video. That was a video of Mr. Mania himself alongside Mr. Christian Bless preaching to the young people. And that is something also that he does within our community. Let's now talk a little bit about Mukumisi.
That's right.
Mukumisi, what does Mukumisi mean?
Mukumisi means worshipper or praise, really in Lingala. I had a problem with the naming because when I spoke to one of my brothers, I was asking him, I want to call the group Mukumisi. He said, why? Because I want to say the worshipper. He said, worship doesn't mean Mukumisi in Lingala. Worship means Ngumbamela, which is a different.
But it's the same definition in English. Worship.
Worship is worship, and then praise is basically when you say Mukumisi, you're meaning praise. Mukumisi. Oh. Yeah, and then worship is actually kneeling down and worshiping God, which is different from Mukumisi. But
the different language. That's why we have the trick. In one language, two things can mean one thing. It can be described in one word. Right. So, I watched one of the video, and you're speaking that you started this with Mr. Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, I think so. No, there was that. I think it was John, and was also Richard Mulenda. Yes. And I think was also, it was a bunch of people, and then Shadrach, and we came together really to just sit down and.
But how did it start with one person doing it, or was it?
Yeah, it was just all of us.
All of you guys together. How were you able to connect to get all these people together?
Because I know all of these guys, because I know their heart, and I know they love God so much, and they love worship. So I thought, okay, let me reach out to those people who love worship. Yeah. So the first session was amazing. We had Randy, you know Randy. Yes. We had JC, my sister JC. We had
Chris Kabasele.
Yes, he flew all the way from Dublin at that time. Luckily, he flew in the night before. It was funny that I was like, I need a keyboardist.
Yeah.
And then he flew in the night before.
Because I remember Shadrach, because I'm close with Shadrach, and people that know him was Shad Winton. I remember one day he was like, we need to go. He was in a hurry going. And I was like, where are you going? And he was like, we're going to this performance, going to be in Central. And I was supposed to come there with him. So unfortunately, I missed it. But after I came, I had the opportunity to attend it. I think it was last year or this year?
This year, yeah.
It was early this year. Early this year to see Mukumisi. And trust me, your viewers, you will be amazed. It was a nice atmosphere to see a live. It's like a live band, but within one room. It was just amazing. And what was the aim of it?
The aim of it is to bring out the sort of people like yourself. Who you like to worship. I don't think we wanted so much like we want it to be different, because people, basically the problem with our community is that people know us about music, and they know mainly we like to, a young generation, we just like 777.
Yes,
which
7 is like
praise, only praise. But we forget that the Bible says that God wants people that worship Him in truth and in spirit. And so the word came, worship in truth and in spirit. So I wanted people that can really worship in truth, and then in spirit. So that's why I wanted to just encourage young people, get involved. If you're a singer and you're a worshiper, get involved. And a lot of people loved it. I was proud of it anyway. And I was praying to God that He was proud of it as well, because It touches lives, He changes lives, and same people go back and they continue singing and they continue doing what they need to do.
And I think it's really good to see that within the community, especially in Congolese community, and especially to see young people, especially that have talent. Some young people, they're not able because of shock or so and so reason, they do not participate within the choir in churches. But this gives them opportunity to use that talent, that gift they have, to sing it out. And I think our viewers, if you are watching us now and you are a singer, and you can be a guitarist, drummist, you can be pianoist, whatever music instrument you play, I think Mukumisi is the place for you to be and be there to worship together. And I think it's time for the young people to be brought together into the presence of God and to worship God in music. So tell us, how do we get to watch your videos?
Okay, brilliant. If you want to watch Mukumisi, we have got a like page. Go to our page, it's called Mukumisi, Facebook/Mukumisi, or you can also go to YouTube, it's just Mukumisi, website Mukumisi, everything Mukumisi. So it's nothing long, nothing stressful, so feel free to just check us out on our Facebook page.
And how can they be able to get in touch with you if they want to participate?
You can easily just send an email to info@mukumisi.com, or you can message me on Facebook, or message us on Facebook. It's quite easy like that way. So do get in touch with us, and then we'll get back to you and give you. We don't take just anyone. We take people that can actually sing. And then actually people that will love, and the people that can really worship. Because the problem is, if you don't have people that authenticate, then it's like a brand that you want to make sure it goes on. Because the thing is, we're not just gonna stop here. We're praying that eventually Mukumisi will be one of the largest worship nights. We're gonna do a worship night, and one of the largest worship nights of not just Congolese but mix of Africans. We will worship together. So that's the aim. So
how often does Mukumisi happen?
It normally happens after 3 months or 4 months. We tend to shoot a lot of stuff once, and then we post them like every week or every couple of weeks, and then that's what we do. But we're hoping to do one soon.
Before we finish the show, because time is never on our side, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you think it is your responsibility to now pass on all the knowledge that you have to the younger generation?
I think it's everybody's responsibility. Every single one of us. And at the moment I'm talking about preparation. If you fail to prepare, you have failed the mission. Fail to prepare the people, the younger ones, to take over, then fail the mission. like I always speak about my country because we failed to prepare.
Yes.
As African, we will fail to prepare ourselves against somebody has to come and take over our land. We fail to prepare. So in life, if you don't prepare, you get nothing done. You will find yourself just in circles.
So if a young person or let's say an adult would like to get the knowledge that you have, you will be free to.
Yeah, I'm free. I'm there. As long as you want to do great, you want to get somewhere in your life, I'm there for you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mania.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to our viewers also. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for commenting, sharing and liking our show. The Voice of Reason wouldn't have been here if it was not for you. A short notice for all our viewers. On the 4th of November this year, we have this grace to have a concert of one of our sisters, Miss Nisia Lessie. This is going to be her first ever concert to happen within the United Kingdom, and I would urge and plead to you guys to come and get your tickets. Tickets are only £10. I'm sure if you contact either the Boss Brother on the Facebook page, contact me, Rebecca Angelique, contact even Miss Nisia Lessie herself to get your tickets. Get it before it's all gone, and come and let us support. We spoke about Mokumisi and we are supporting that, and we're also speaking about Miss Nisia Lessie. Come, let's worship the Lord together. Once again, I would like to thank you, our viewers. See you next time. Bye-bye.